This is CBC Here and Now.
We are live from Mount Pearl for a haunted house showdown. It is neighbor versus neighbor here, and it is all about
dead stuff
versus
clown stuff.
Stay with us, we're going in.
Good evening. Welcome to Here and Now. I'm Anthony Germain.
And I'm Carolyn Stokes. Well, we start tonight with masks, but not the Halloween kind. Younger students will now have to start wearing masks in school. Masks were already required for grades 4 and above, but now kindergarten and grade 3 students will have to wear a mask anytime they're inside, including when they're seated at their desk. Grades kindergarten to grade 6 will also have to cohort, keeping classes from mingling. Dr. Janice Fitzgerald says the outbreak in Buren showed the virus can spread through schools. She recognizes wearing masks can be a struggle for younger students.
It is sometimes a little bit difficult. So I think it's important for parents to encourage children to try to keep it on, perhaps practice at home, just keeping it on for longer periods of time. Certainly it is something that I think as children get more used to the idea, it becomes more second nature to them. So it may take a little bit of an adjustment period, but I think we have to be cognizant of that.
And Dr. Fitzgerald also offers advice for trick-or-treating this weekend. She says anyone who has even mild symptoms shouldn't be handing out treats or collecting them. Treats should be dropped directly in people's bags, and kids should maintain physical distancing where possible. She also praised some communities on Buren that are delaying trick-or-treating because so many children are isolating.
This is a wonderful act of kindness and community spirit, and makes me once again proud to say I'm from this spectacular province. So have a safe and fun Halloween weekend, and hold fast, Newfoundland and Labrador.
And still with COVID news, there were 8 new cases announced today, all of them contacts of previous cases. 5 are in Eastern, 3 are in Central. With 10 recoveries, there are now 99 active cases. 1 person remains in hospital.
Well, it is almost Halloween, and here's my costume. Went with something weather-related this year, and I'm going to post a picture on social media, and I want you to guess what I am, and I'll pick a few people to win a few CBC prize packs. So hopefully you can guess. Give you a few minutes, but while you're doing that, we're going to talk about the weather a little bit today. Pretty nice out there for most of Labrador. Take a look at those temperatures. 12, 13 degrees. In fact, Lab City broke a record today. Those temperatures much cooler the further west you go. 4 degrees in St. John's today. And taking a look at what's happening right now, we've got a ridge of high pressure to the north, area of low pressure to the south, which is why we're still kind of seeing some of that cloud cover, but it will move off. And the good news is that these clear skies are going to lead to the potential for some northern lights, that we can see some northern lights. I'll get into those details when I come back.
Thanks, Ashley. Well, the provincial government has proposed a law to change how Indigenous children are adopted into non-Indigenous homes. Bill 39, an amendment to the Adoption Act, is moving through the House of Assembly. The Act specifies having a cultural connection plan for Indigenous children, notifying an Indigenous representative when they're adopted, and considering the importance of sibling relationships. The province says the plan will be developed by social workers in consultation with Indigenous government representatives.
Now to the courts, where a teacher is charged with sexually assaulting his student. Noel Strapp is accused of having sex with a female student when she was in grades 11 and 12. It allegedly happened when he was the girl's teacher and coach. The student, who is now 22 years of age, was on the stand all day today answering questions from Strapp's lawyer. She says she was led on by Strapp and estimates having about 100 sexual encounters with him, including at the school and on sports trips. Strapp denies any sexual relationship. He's expected on the stand next week.
Well, former NDP leader Jerry Rogers says the NDP could be a good fit for Layla Evans. Evans left the PCs this week to sit as an independent.
I think the NDP absolutely would match her values. I mean, one of the reasons I ran with the NDP and stayed in the NDP is because it matched the values and the ideology that I had about how we as a society live together, work together, plan our resources, share our resources. So who knows?
And hear what Evan's departure means for the PC party from the rest of our political veterans panel later on in the show.
The College of North Atlantic has received another big piece of equipment, a private jet. It's donated by Bombardier and will soon be a major teaching tool for students in Gander. Here now's Garrett Barry has that story.
This one is serial number 001, so it's the first Learjet ever made.
A small piece of Canadian aircraft history. The first ever Learjet 45.
Everything that you see in the aircraft that's orange is not typically installed on a Learjet when it's delivered to a customer. So these are all of the components that are experimental that are still on the aircraft.
They call it a flight test vehicle, a prototype, that manufacturers use to prove their design is safe.
There's tens of thousands of sensors installed on the aircraft with electronic equipment to monitor that, and so we'll be able to give our students an edge in terms of monitoring aircraft function.
That's what makes for a natural partnership. This jet is wide open for study.
It's not like what you see on an airline. It's very much geared towards learning the inner workings of it.
The plane landed in Gander in early October, and to make it across town was a big job.
We met up like 2:30 in the morning. It was cold, it was raining.
There was probably, I would say, about 32 people at the table putting together the decision-making process and measuring for light posts and overhead power lines, clearance for the tail and things of that nature. So, yeah, it was pretty significant.
In a few more months, these students will get their hands on it.
It's amazing. That's all I can say. It's amazing. I don't even know how to describe. Just airplanes are cool to everybody.
The school says it's now their highest value asset, in the millions.
This is magnificent. What a wonderful gift. I don't ever recall this happening in my entire career.
And Bombardier might get something out of the deal, too.
They get people with industry-relevant current skills upon graduation, rather than having to have that longer learning curve of bringing graduates up to speed on state-of-the-art technology. They will leave College of the North Atlantic with that knowledge.
Garrett Barry, CBC News. Gander.
Well, some say the local music industry wouldn't be what it is today without the influence of Fred Brokenshire, founder of the legendary Fred's Records in downtown St. John's. The 69-year-old passed away this week. Today, musician Con O'Brien of the Irish descendants shared some memories of Brokenshire, who managed the band for years.
Fred was a larger-than-life character. He was as cool could be. You know, he was a good-looking man, had a good-looking wife, good-looking children, good-looking everything. And he had that wonderful store. And coincidentally, I bought a house on Prospect Street. So you walked out the back door of my house and in the back door of Fred's. So I spent days and days, almost 6 or 7 years in that office every morning. You know, he saw an opportunity with us and courted us, and next thing you know, he was now managing the band, and that was a relationship that was certainly positive for us. Music business is a tough business, but he was charismatic, and he had a way with words. He could get people to do things. All of a sudden, a guy like Fred rolls around, and we're winning Juno Awards and doing national tours with the likes of Anne Murray, and it was a magical ride for us, and it was big deal around these parts at the time. So it was fun to be part of, and he made a lot of that happen. There's no Great Big Sea, there's no Irish descendants without that influence back then, and you can see the legacy that bands like Great Big Sea have left behind. Yeah, that's all carried on into Hey Rosetta's, everything in the world that we've seen in music. Fred had a finger on that somewhere along the way.
Davina Doyle.
Davina Doyle. I'm sitting in the office, a guy named Graham Steers is coming down to meet us to sign us. He had a small little record label in Toronto. Davina was working in the office. He heard Davina singing to herself out in the office. Next year, Davina Doyle has a record deal. That's how it happened in Fred's office. That's a true story. And you know, I mean, the rest is history, really. When you think about all the legacy of the music that's come out of the place and will come out of the place, is a direct result of that hard work at that time. You know.
Some great thoughts. Well, on Sunday, the Telly 10 will return, and there are lots of changes, and not just the time of year. Here now is Enrica Wilhelm explains.
Another piece of pre-pandemic life returns Sunday to the streets of Paradise, Mount Pearl and St. John's, when runners will lace up their running shoes for the 93rd annual Telly 10. A relief for everyone involved.
I'm honestly really stoked to be taking part in this event that's been going on for so long.
The excitement on the start line and the finish line when you're running the race is really something special. But so is the excitement coming in here with the volunteers last night. People were so enthusiastic, there was such camaraderie, so much joy among them. It felt great to be part of it.
Last year, COVID cancelled the biggest running race in the province that has been a July staple for the past 40 years. The last time this race was in October was in 1969.
We knew that in the middle of July, with the pandemic being at a hiatus, there's no way we would be able to pull it off. And then later in the fall, we knew that most people would be double vaccinated.
Some COVID restrictions will still be in place, like a reduced number of runners, 2,500, half the usual 5,200, and runners will have to wear masks.
We're going to have our runners wearing masks in the corrals and probably up to the first 700 or 800 meters before they take their mask off.
But those rules can't stop runners.
There have been no questions at all. You feel the same sense of excitement when people come through the door to be scanned as you always felt during the Telly 10.
I 100% get it. We got to be as safe as we can, because the thing is that COVID's still out there, and we just all got to work together and be understanding of each other.
As every year, runners will start their race at 8 a.m. near Octagon Pond in Paradise and then cross the finish line here by Bannerman Park in St. John's. And at the last Telly 10 in 2019, that took the fastest runner just under 50 minutes. Henrike Wilhelm, CBC News, St. John's.
Well, the SPCA in St. John's is looking to build a new facility. The organization says its current space isn't working anymore.
Yeah, and starting today, they have a new fundraising campaign. It's called The Way Home, and the goal is to bring in $5 million.
Today we're launching the Way Home campaign in an effort to build a new modern facility for the regional St. John's SPCA. Getting this new state-of-the-art facility is going to mean a light at the end of the tunnel for our organization. It's going to mean more animals in, more happy endings for both humans and animals.
This is Poppy Cecil Cooper. I donated his groom because I'm a professional groomer, and we met. That's how we met. I fell in love with him as soon as I was bathing him and shaving down his matted fur. He was part of a hoarding situation from what I was told. He's just the best thing ever. So he's just living his best life right now, really. And the SPCA saved him.
Sammy was 2 when he came into the shelter. He had a lot of issues with feeding. He didn't know what dog food was, or dog toys, or treats. His owner was quite neglectful, and he was often known as a community dog. I got him thinking that I was helping him and helping him work through his issues, when in fact it turned out that he was helping me so much through mine, and he just opened up this brand new world, and it was lighter, it was brighter, and there was just so much joy in it.
We've outlived the life of the current facility. We want to be able to take in more animals, but we just don't have the room for them. We want to be able to put a clinic in the facility in order to do some in-house medical procedures on animals to cut down wait time and cost.
There's so many that needs homes, and it's sad situations, whether the owner passed or they got in a sticky situation like this little guy. But it brings a lot of joy in your house when you own an animal.
With the new facility and everything that it offers, it's a big opportunity to not only give so many animals a second chance, but also so many adoptions. That means a lot of people who need animals, like I needed one without realizing, a chance as well, and it's a whole new opportunity to do more good.
Most of the year, they're friends, they're neighbors, and around Halloween, things change. What happens?
We get a little competitive.
There's actually a little bit to defrag here. We're going to get into it coming up. It is all for a good cause. Stay with us.
Well, Chrissy is live in Mount Pearl tonight, as you've seen.
Yes, it's almost Halloween, and Chrissy, you were talking about dueling neighbors, I hear. What's happening with that?
Oh, Carolyn, there's a lot happening here, and it's going to take a minute to get through it all. And we're going to start with dueling neighbor number one, Scott Sleep. And Scott, I'm like going to call this the coulrophobia carnival. He's got this like clown phobia thing happening here. Can we start with it down here? I mean, just tell us a little bit about what you got set up here.
Well, obviously, It and Pennywise is one of my favorite movies, so that was kind of one of my first decorations that I built a couple years ago, which spearheaded the rest of it.
Okay, the rest of it being, can we go to this next feature here? You've transformed this whole barrel here. That clown is moving. You tell us a little bit about how you made this happen.
Yeah, that's one of my only movable decorations I have. It's just basically a fan that spins side to side and a clown mounted on top to give it some extra effect.
And everything else, like you've actually had to put a lot of work into this. Like, I mean, how much handmade stuff have you put into this display?
Pretty much everything. Besides the lights and the fan, I've created all of these items, and it's taken me a couple of years, but every year we add a few more. So
you got a couple of creepy clowns hanging out back there. Anybody stepping up for tickets?
Not yet.
No. Well, listen, why clowns? Why did you want to go with this kind of a spook? Is there any connection here?
Not necessarily, mostly the colors. I'm a big fan of the brightness and the, obviously clowns have a stigma behind them with the fear factor there. So between the bright colors and the fear factor, it's kind of where I've spun my decorations from.
Can okay, it's not just it that is creepy, although it and little Georgie here, pretty creepy. Can we come over here for just a moment? I want to see this, there's a bike over here that is incredibly, I don't know why I find that so darn creepy, but you can probably see the little booties here. Very lifelike. You've got a lot of extra children. you put your old children's clothes to good use here.
Definitely a few recycled items from the kids in the past.
Well, we moved over to this other part. As amazing as all of this is, your very favorite part of this whole display is actually the simplest part, this gray box right here.
Yes, it is. Obviously, my neighbor and I, part of the fun of doing the decorations is taking this into a good cause, and one of the causes that we decided to do is ask for donations for the food bank, and we appreciate all the extra food that we've gotten that we'll donate after Halloween.
So anybody wants to come by, just make sure you bring non-perishable food at them.
We appreciate it.
Well, it's a good way to put competition to good work, right?
Definitely.
Next up, we are going to go across the street to your friend and neighbor and seasonal competitor, TJ Vincent's place. Scott Sleep, great job. Thank you so much. All right, and we're going to go and check in on the weather. Hopefully things are going to dry up here pretty soon, Ashley.
Getting a little wet out there, yes?
Yes, it is, yeah. Just started, too.
Yeah, that has been the story for the past couple of days. It's pretty much what we're going to see, unfortunately, tonight, Chrissy, so go find some shelter there. But taking a look at the current temperatures, it's not that bad out there. Temperatures are hovering around 4 degrees right now in St. John's. Those temperatures warmer as you head towards the west coast. Still a gorgeous 13 degrees in Stephenville. And then same thing up across Labrador. This is well above where you should be sitting this time of year. Lab City now at 12 degrees. But like I said a little bit earlier, broke the record from about 2008 in Lab City. Now, what we have going on right now is an area of high pressure to the north, or at least over Labrador, and that's why we're seeing all of those beautiful conditions and taking its time to clear out for eastern areas of the island as well, which is why we're seeing that drizzle. But as we head through the night tonight, that drizzle will end, and we should see some clearing skies as we get into the early morning hours. But there is a little bit of a treat in store for most of Newfoundland and Labrador as we head through tonight and even into tomorrow night. There's a potential to see some northern lights thanks to a geomagnetic storm. So if the forecast is right, we could likely see some northern lights tonight and then tomorrow night under those clear skies. So good indications of that happening. And the one thing you're going to have to do, though, is you're going to have to move away from the lights in order to see that. So if you get any pictures, certainly send them in. So taking a look at the future tracker for tonight, not a whole lot going on, just some lingering cloud cover to the east and south, but we should see that if it isn't clear by morning, should clear as we get into the early morning hours. Temperatures tonight will be fairly cool again, especially up through Labrador, into the minus single digits for Lab City and Happy Valley, Goose Bay, and then we're looking at those temperatures Pretty similar for the west coast as well as central Newfoundland. Grand Falls winds are going down to about -5 tonight and 4 degrees in St. John's. And then as far as tomorrow's forecast goes, that ridge of high pressure in place. If the sky isn't clear by morning, it certainly will be as you get into the mid-morning. But we will see some high cloud. I got to keep moving out of the shot because you can't see, but some high cloud move in up across Labrador as we head through the afternoon on Sunday, or rather Saturday, keeping those skies clear for the most part across the island. A beautiful day tomorrow, temperature-wise, 7 degrees in Lab City. Happy Valley Goose Bay reaching double digits again, 11 and then 13 for Corner Brook. Looks like we'll reach about 9, maybe 10 degrees in St. John's through the day tomorrow. Now, since it's Halloween, thought we'd dig into some of the numbers and some of the extreme temperatures that we've seen over the last bunch of years. This is since the late 50s, early 60s, and these were the temperatures after sunset, about an hour after sunset. So you can see in St. John's anywhere from 10 to -1. Now, note what happens with those temperatures as the coldest, all in the 1970s. So unfortunately, those poor kids that were in the 1970s definitely had to wear their jackets. I guess that's where we got the whole wear your jacket under the costume for sure. But the warmer temperatures, though, certainly 2017, 1999, those temperatures are up in the even double digits, 10, 11 degrees. So certainly some nice weather, but the Halloween forecast certainly not looking scary at all out there. Temperatures beautiful, 7 to 9 degrees. This is about 6 o'clock. A little bit of a breeze though. The worst, or not the worst, but the only weather really will be in Lab City. You'll see some rain move in by the time the little trick-or-treaters are out, and your temperature will be hovering around 4 degrees. So that's a look at the Halloween forecast. We'll look ahead a couple of days when I come back.
I was unhappy, and you know, I was very discouraged, and I thought it's like any kind of relationship. If you stay where you're not happy, eventually things started to erode, and you form bad relationships. And I wanted to leave before that happened, actually.
It's a political move no one saw coming. One of the stars of the PC opposition announced this week she's leaving the party to sit as an independent. Even Tories were surprised when Leila Evans decided to leave. So what does this mean for her future and the future of the PCs? Our political veterans are here. Sandy Collins, a former PC cabinet minister, Jerry Rogers, former NDP leader, and Colin Holloway, a former Liberal MHA. So Sandy, let's start with you. Leila Evans presented a more progressive side of the party, a queer woman who's an Inuk. How much damage does this do to the party when she comes out and says, I don't feel like I belong here?
Well, I guess first I will say that MHA Evans has been a strong, articulate voice in the House of Assembly, and I think we have to respect her reasons for leaving. It was her choice, and obviously that was her choice to make. However, I guess seeing I'm asked to comment on it, I have to wonder with regards to the timing of the departure. She was a very strong voice in caucus. She had lots of opportunities to get to her feet and speak to important items in the House of Assembly. She had a platform that the party provided to her, as well as a blue book that I'm sure she had hands on with regards to initiatives that would impact Labrador, you know, beneficial to Labrador and to Labradorians. So, you know, I think the party supported her in her advocating for Labrador. So it was a little bit odd all of a sudden, particularly around the fact that she hasn't stated any particular reason, or there hasn't been an event that would have caused her to depart that I can see. You know, if you look at other departures for members who've left parties to sit as independents, whether it be Paul Lane, Eddie Joyce, Dale Kirby, Tom Osborne, the list goes on and on. You can attach all of those moves or those leaving of the party to certain events or happenings. This one we can't. So it's a little bit of shock, and certainly it is a loss to the PC party. She's, as I said, a very capable MHA, but we wish her well.
Sandy, in fact, she did clearly articulate why she left. And I wrote this down from one of her interviews where she said, housing and food insecurity were such important issues. And she also talked about the gap in the infrastructure in Labrador. And she said, I didn't get help with that. I expect support. I expect something to be done to help change this, and I'm not getting it. And she said, in government, there's no fairness, there's no justice. It's really who can navigate the strongest right now. I cannot be part of the PC party. I have to stand as an independent to bring that forward. I'm going to do it the best way I can. So I think she was clearly saying that she wasn't getting the support on these very important issues that she was talking about vis-a-vis her district.
Right, and respectfully, of course, as an independent, she's going to have far fewer opportunities to have a voice in the House of Assembly, because that's the way our system works. So, you know, we can only judge it on what we've seen. I thought she was a strong voice. I thought she had ample opportunities and, you know, was quite visible. And again, I thought that opportunity would have probably benefited her in progressing those ideas and initiatives, but obviously she felt differently, and you have to respect that.
Colin, I want to bring you in on this discussion. She thinks that she can advocate better as an independent, but that means things like question period. You know, you don't get the opportunity, maybe one question every Wednesday. What do you think? Can she be more effective outside of a party?
I think it's a bit of a double-edged sword, to be honest, Peter. You know, all of us sat inside caucuses, and so you're trying to advocate for your constituents, but you're up against what are the goals of the party. And all of us have been there. You know, my time in the House of Assembly, I was advocating for certain things for my constituents, and you know, lots of times that didn't come on the agenda of the party, and therefore it couldn't come on the agenda of the House. So the independents, and if you think back to the election, one of the things that I did say was I felt the independents were going to have a certain amount of power and influence in this sitting in a House or in this General Assembly. And I think that's proven to be the case. You know, we have people like Perry Trimper there and Paul Lane. Paul Lane just celebrated 10 years in the House. He sat with the Progressive Conservatives. He sat with the Liberals. came out, as Sandy says, came out, for various reasons and decided to sit as an independent or was forced to sit as an independent. But Paul is still a force to be reckoned with. I think he's very successful. So that's the other side of the double-edged sword.
I want to gaze a little bit into what her future might look like. And we got a few hints in that news conference that she gave talking about why she left. She was pretty complimentary of the NDP. Here's a little bit about what she said to reporters.
I do support the NDP, as a third party. There's a huge need for a third party to be that voice and also to help with the balance of the issues.
Jerry, your old job as NDP leader is open. Do you think we might end up seeing her run for that position? And do you think that the NDP might be a good fit for her?
I think the NDP absolutely would match her values. I mean, one of the reasons I ran with the NDP and stayed in the NDP is because it matched the values and the ideology that I had about how we as a society live together, work together, plan our resources, share our resources. So who knows, only Layla knows.
I don't think that joining the NDP is going to get Layla what she wants, right? She wants to have a voice for the people that elected her into the House of Assembly. And I'm not saying that as a slight against the NDP. I'm saying that as probably a reality for her joining any party at this point. She has spoken out, and she is, a great communicator, a great orator. She knows the things that are important to her constituents in Northern Labrador. And I think if she went to be a leader within a caucus, if it was the NDP, her wishes and wants are again going to play down compared to the wishes and the aims of the caucus and the NDP party. So I don't know if joining them is where she aims to go.
Well, we're going to have to leave the discussion there. Thanks so much, all three of you, for weighing in today.
Thanks, Peter.
Thanks, Peter.
Thanks, Peter.
Some big questions for the mayor and deputy mayor of Mount Pearl. How ready are they for the zombie apocalypse? An important national publication says Mount Pearl is the last place you want to be. And guess what? The mayor and deputy mayor, well, they disagree.
Well, the last place you want to be is exactly where Chrissy Holmes is tonight, in Mount Pearl. Watch out for those zombies, bloodsuckers, and creepy clowns. Chrissy is live, and she has some spooktacular Halloween displays to show us, along with some friendly competition among neighbors. She'll have more bone-chilling fun after the break.
Welcome back to Here and Now. An allegedly important website has taken a look at which towns and municipalities in Canada are best equipped to survive the inevitable zombie apocalypse, and it's a topic that this reporter thought was worth investigating because Mount Pearl was ranked as the worst city to live in once the zombies come. The mayor and deputy mayor join me now. So, Mayor Aker, like the mask, I'll ask you to remove it for the purposes of this interview.
Thank you. We're all doubly vaccinated, I hope.
We are.
Absolutely.
And Deputy Mayor Kiley, good to have you with us. Mayor Aker, what do you make of these allegations that when you look at the hospitals, the infrastructure, that the fine city of Mount Pearl just isn't ready for the zombies?
Completely not true at all. You know, we have a top secret plan, and despite our transparency and accountability, we have places where our people can go in case the apocalypse occurs, even at this moment as we speak. We have the old swimming pool, which really is an underground set of caverns that stretches from one end of the city to the next. And we've recently just loaded up our new water tank up on Canmount Hill. We've loaded that with vaccine for zombies.
Now, Dave, I also want to bring an important new perspective to this, because of course, you know, we are 100% prepared with regards to zombies, and we're going to do everything we can to protect our residents. We know, however, you know, we have to look at the larger picture. We have to look at the longer term goal and vision here, because if we are going to have zombies in our community, we need to open and embrace that. So I want to think that Mount Pearl is a place for everyone. And one of those things can be, you know, looking at rebranding. Like right now we're in Small Business Week, and one of the things we can say, if we have zombies here, let's welcome them. Consider them done for Donovans. Consider them dead, you know? When we look at Frosty Festival, that can be Fleshy Festival. And one of the things we want to make sure is, like, for those that are going to be out and about, or survivalists, if you will, you know, our survivalist residents, we're going to have a lot of places for you. We just opened up brand new Pipers. You can get your non-perishable theirs. You'll have your materials there. And then when you think about Arthur James, you can get your go-backs. So it's going to be a place where absolutely there may be some zombies happening, but we're going to embrace and support our zombie community, and we're going to support our survivors as well.
All right. Well, listen, we'll see what happens if and when the zombies do get here. Appreciate you setting the record straight. And this is...
Are you vaccinated against the zombies, Anthony?
Yes. I haven't been yet, but...
well, I got to tell you, you're welcome, but it's no shot in the arm. It could also be a pain in the butt. Welcome to Mount Pearl, Mount Pearl.
We're Plan B in it. Welcome, zombies. Great to have you here. Consider it dead.
Yeah, Mount Pearl is dead set on creeping people out, and yeah, TJ Vincent definitely on it. TJ, we're going into your nightmare, which I'm dubbing the necromancy nightmare. Can you tell us a little bit about what you got going on here?
Well, we got a couple zombies trying to escape from the hole there. We got a scarecrow we made from our tree, a pumpkin head. Over here we got a corpse bride and the groom, which was actually made from my body. My kids saran wrapped me in packing tape, and we...
What? Hang on. Can we like defrag that for a moment? This is a body double, this guy over here?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
They so then we had to cut it off and piece it all back together and gave it a nice suit from Moore's.
I gotta tell you, like, I'm a little creeped out here. I feel like I'm getting the stink eye from all directions. You gotta feel the body count is kind of stacking up here too. Like, what are you like? Where does this? You're just like fascinated with horror? Like, tell me a little bit about yourself. Where this comes from?
Oh man.
Are you okay?
I don't know if we should get into that.
I love this so much, but the details, like, I don't know if you can pick this up, but like, this is a real art form. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to embarrass you here, but like the details that you really have to go in through here. There's a lot of layers. Did you actually dig up your lawn here too?
We did, yeah. We do that every year, and I say I'm never going to do it again, but then the following year I do it again.
Well, I guess you got smart this year. You put one of those mort cages to ensure those zombies don't escape. They're usually to protect the dead from the living, but I guess it's the other way around here. And listen, so you guys really are friends, right? Like for real, you're friends. I have to ask you, like, even since we've been here, there's been a lot of traffic going by. Like, how do people react when they come through here, the kids?
Some people, they actually wrote me on Facebook and said that their kids are too scared to come through here. And some love it.
And I mean, what about you? What have you heard?
Yeah, say almost the same words that TJ said. There's people that love it and people that come here for the excitement and the thrill that they get from seeing the new decorations. So
some people even come here for bedtime. I understand.
Yeah, there's a good little story. There's people in the neighborhood that come 2 weeks before Halloween. Once TJ and I start decorating, this is part of their bedtime tradition. They come up here and go for a drive, see what's going on, and then they go back to bed. So,
well, that's creepy and lovely, and you're doing it for a great cause, guys. Thank you so much for having us.
No problem, it's a pleasure.
Glad to have you here.
Yeah, well, that is your living nightmare from LaSalle Drive here in Mount Pearl, and I can tell you the kids here really are enjoying it as they go off to bed.
It seems like you're enjoying it too, Chrissy. It is very creepy out there.
Yeah, it is creepy and cold at this point.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Time to find out who's celebrating. Congratulations to Joan and Pat Connors of Labrador City, now living in Dildo. They're celebrating their 50th anniversary. Happy 65th wedding anniversary to Jim and Marie Dix in Harbour Grace. Best wishes to Warren and Betty Cole of Clarenville on their 50th wedding anniversary. Happy 57th anniversary to Donna and Lou Hounsel of Clarenville. Hubert and Burl Humby from Roddickton are celebrating 60 years of marriage.
Happy 53rd anniversary to Clarence and Glennis Mercer, and happy 58th anniversary to Howard and Jane Taverner in Heart's Content. Also a big 58th wedding anniversary to Donald and Joyce O'Keefe from Port au Choix, and on a roll, a 58th wedding anniversary as well for Ed and Ruby Williams. Irving and Delilah Phillitree celebrated their 62nd anniversary last Saturday, and a happy 52nd wedding anniversary to Harry and Shirley Parsons of Upper Island Cove.
Happy 58th anniversary to Frank and Audrey Osborne of Little Bay East. Kay and Bill Janes from Corner Brook are celebrating their 61st wedding anniversary. Happy 58th wedding anniversary to Alwyn and Betty Rideout of Robert's Arm. Congratulations to Johnny and Mary Waterman. They're celebrating their 53rd anniversary. Happy 56th anniversary to Louise and Cecil Jewer of Point Leamington.
Happy 54th anniversary to Ted and Marie Lundrigan of Foxtrap. And Wayne and Gwen Hiscock are celebrating their 50th wedding anniversary today. Congratulations. And happy 50th wedding anniversary tomorrow to Arthur and Sherry Kellaway. Special greetings, double prizes to Ronald and Violet Canning of Port Anson. They're celebrating their 63rd wedding anniversary, and today is also Violet's birthday. Happy anniversary to Marjorie and Patrick Brown of Dunville. They'll celebrate 51 years together on Halloween. Happy 55th anniversary today to Moses and Linda Tucker of Portugal Cove, St. Phillips.
Happy 70th anniversary today to Violet and Jim Wells of Cox's Cove. Congratulations to Jack and Velma Curtis, who are celebrating 61 years of marriage. Happy 57th anniversary to Luke and Eunice Lawrence of McIvers. Happy golden anniversary to Ron and Georgina Ludi of Gander. Now to some birthdays. Jack Walsh of St. Brendan's is celebrating his 90th birthday on Sunday. Birthday greetings going out to Ivy Goodwin of Hants Harbor, who will celebrate her 91st birthday tomorrow. Birthday greetings going out to Catherine Moraz from 3 Rock Cove. She celebrated her 97th birthday on Monday. Happy 94th birthday to Randall Moulton of Winterland, now living in CBS.
Happy 91st birthday to Emily O'Grady, who celebrated on Wednesday, and happy 92nd birthday to Job Blackmore. Happy 95th birthday yesterday to Teresa Hawkins of Admiral's Cove, Cape Broyle. Happy 96th birthday to Eleanor Burke from St. John's, and happy 90th birthday to Ida Winter from Gander, formerly from Greenspond.
Happy 90th birthday to Susan Flynn from West Bay Center, now living in Stephenville. Phyllis Skiffington turned 98 yesterday. Happy birthday. Also yesterday, Albert Burton in Springdale celebrated his 92nd birthday. Happy 94th birthday to Juanita Hodnott in Stephenville Crossing. Happy 90th birthday to Henry Crocker of Greens Harbor. And on Sunday, happy 90th birthday to Alma Parsons of White Bay, now living in Summerside. Well, congratulations once again to everyone who is celebrating. Now, we have to get to your costume. Yep. Did you guess what Ashley's costume is? We had lots of answers on social media, lots of people tweeting you and on Facebook. We did give you a hint earlier that it's weather related.
Yeah, and within seconds, you guys are pretty smart. I am the Wreck House. Get it? So I'm going to go through all of those entries and send out some CBC prize packs on Monday. Thanks for playing along.
I'm really glad that it actually stayed intact.
I know. It's actually heavier than you would expect, but yeah, not too bad.
Yeah. We put in the 185G as the house number because that's the top wind gust in Wreck House.
At least that was ever recorded by Environment Canada. Yeah.
Right.
But no. But luckily no one's going to be seeing those kinds of winds over the weekend. Let's take a look at the forecast as we get into Sunday. That ridge of high pressure still in place. And under a ridge of high pressure, we generally don't see very strong winds. But we are going to start to see some showers roll in late day, likely just in time. Ooh, almost knocked over the TV thing there. I'm bigger than I am. It's a house, yeah. We are going to see some showers move in across Labrador as we get into the afternoon and evening hours, unfortunately, for Sunday. So it does look like trick-or-treating will be a little bit wet for you, and eventually we'll see those showers roll in and then continue across most of the island, or at least most of the province, as we get through Monday. And then in behind that, that area of low pressure is going to roll through. In behind that, looks like Lab West is going to see some snow on Monday night and into Tuesday, thanks to this area of low pressure. So here's your Sunday forecast. This is during the day anyway. 9 degrees in St. John's, double digits towards central and the west coast, around 13 degrees. Lab City, you're going to go down to the single digits, only sitting around 6 degrees as the daytime highs, and then 12 degrees for Happy Valley, Goose Bay through the day on Sunday. As we get into Monday, this is when things get a little bit unsettled. However, we are going to hang on to those nice temperatures, or at least the warmer temperatures, 11 to 14 degrees for most of the island, and then double digits hanging on for Cartwright and Happy Valley, Goose Bay. Otherwise, we're looking at single digits for the rest of the Big Land. Taking a look at the long-range forecast. Now, I do have the chance of some drizzle, but it likely won't happen until overnight for Sunday. Monday showers. Long range forecast looking at a little bit of a cool down as we get into Wednesday under a mix of sun and cloud. And then for central Newfoundland, some sunshine for Tuesday. Wednesday looks a bit unsettled, likely taking its time to reach central Newfoundland into the evening hours. But overall, temperatures will dip into the single digits. And then as far as eastern Labrador goes, you're going to see those double digits through Monday and then say goodbye to them as those cooler temperatures move in, looking at some snow for Tuesday and Wednesday for Lab West. Getting into that peak fall in Swift Current. Bob captured this shot beautifully. Thank you for that, Bob. If you have any weather photos that you would like to share with us, send them to nlphotos@cbc.ca.
Beautiful time of year that way.
It definitely is. Yeah. And we can't say good night without saying goodbye.
The two of our longtime colleagues are retiring.
An unapologetically Canadian musical.
CBC host and producer Angela Antle finished up today one highlight of her storied career, covering the Broadway debut of Come From Away.
And for years, Angela hosted the Weekend Arts magazine on radio, focusing on the artistic, cultural, and historic parts of our province. She leaves CBC as the producer of Atlantic Voice and Absolutely Canadian, two documentary programs.
Debbie does the newsing here in the evening.
And we heard from him last night on the show, but we'd be remiss not to mention him again. CBC radio legend Ted Blades hosted his final episode of On the Go earlier this evening.
Ted, of course, hosted On the Go for 18 years and the drive home companion of many, many, many people in this province who listen to him every day. So good luck, Ted. Now, as Ted would say, we're going to leave it there for now.
Yes, zombies from Neighborhood Dance Works will dance us out this evening. They're raising money doing zombie-grams all weekend.
Good night.
Have a safe Halloween.
Good night.
Jump to the left.